How's it going, everyone? This is GWR Studios, and today we are going to be finding some more goofs in Thomas and Friends. Today's episode is Thomas Breaks the Rules. I hope you enjoy it. Alright, so at the beginning of the episode, Thomas is leaving the quarry and heading to the end of his branch line. The tracks run alongside the road, so Thomas always blows his whistle to make sure no one gets hurt. And here's where I saw the first goof. In the next scene, Thomas's wheels aren't moving. This is such a bad goof. How did they let this get by? As Thomas continues on his journey, he sees the new policeman on his bike. The previous policeman had just retired, and Thomas was anxious to meet the new policeman.
Beep, beep, he whistled. Good morning!
Thomas thought the new policeman would be just as friendly as the old one, but when he came to a stop, he was surprised at what he saw.
He was red in the face and very cross.
And here comes the next goof. When we see the close-up of the policeman, the screen is constantly moving.
Disgraceful, he spluttered.
The policeman is mad at Thomas for whistling. He says he didn't get enough sleep, and he can't stand the whistling. And here's another goof. If we look at Thomas's tank, we can see that there's a chip in it.
I'm sorry, sir. I only said good morning!
But the policeman was still mad, and he asked Thomas where his cow catchers were.
Where's your cow catcher? But I don't catch cows, sir. Don't be funny.
The policeman then pointed at Thomas's wheels.
No side plates either.
The policeman wrote in his notebook, and he tells Thomas that he needs to have side plates and a cow catcher. Otherwise, he's not safe.
You haven't, so you are dangerous.
And here comes another goof. If we look at Thomas's driver, we can see that the brim of his hat is falling down. There's also a hole in his chin.
Rubbish!
The driver tells the policeman that Thomas has been on this line several times, and he's never had an accident. But the policeman still had his mind made up. In his notebook, he wrote regular lawbreaker. This made Thomas very sad. Now, as he puffs away, there's actually a goof in this scene. When we see Annie and Clarabelle pass the screen, we can see that Clarabelle is facing the wrong way. Meanwhile, Sir Topham Hatt was having breakfast, when all of a sudden, the butler told him he had a phone call.
You're wanted on the telephone.
Whoa. Hold on a minute. Do you guys see what's on the wall? Is that a picture of a train? With a mustache? I've never seen this train before. I have no idea who this is. Very strange.
You're wanted on the telephone.
Bother that telephone.
Now here comes a goof that nobody would know about unless they slowed down the video. Let me show you what I mean. When Sir Topham Hatt is talking on the phone, this is what we hear. It's high-pitched talking that we can't understand. But let's slow down the video so that we can understand what they're saying.
But however much he argued with him, it was no good. The law is the law, he said, and we can't change it. The Fat Controller felt exhausted.
So Sir Topham Hatt is on the phone with the narrator. Somehow Sir Topham Hatt figures out that Thomas is in trouble, so he tells his wife he's going to investigate. And here comes another goof. If we look to the left of the screen, we can see that one of the stairs is crooked. Thomas's driver told Sir Topham Hatt what happened, but when we see the close-up of Sir Topham Hatt, we can see there's several chips on the brim of his hat, and there's also a crack at the top.
Dangerous to the public indeed.
Sir Topham Hatt talked to the policeman to try to figure something out, but it was no good.
The law is the law, and we can't change it.
Sir Topham Hatt got tired of arguing, and he told the driver that Thomas would have no choice but to have cow catchers installed. Thomas is horrified.
Everyone will laugh, sir. They'll say I look like a tram.
Now, did any of you guys see the goof in this scene? Let's rewind it.
They'll say I look like a tram.
A bush in the background randomly moves. Then all of a sudden, Sir Topham Hatt had a great idea.
Why didn't I think of it before?
Sir Topham Hatt realizes that they need a tram engine. On Sir Topham Hatt's last vacation, he met Toby the tram engine. Toby is equipped with cow catchers and side plates. Toby needed a job, so Sir Topham Hatt decided to talk to him.
That's a good engine.
Toby also brought Henrietta along with him, and he tells Sir Topham Hatt that the station master wanted to make Henrietta a hen house.
And that would never do. No, indeed.
Toby is so excited. He finally has a job again, so he sets off to get to work. Toby had no trouble pulling the troublesome trucks. He even did a better job than Thomas. And the policeman was glad the law was being followed.
Hey, you!
Needless to say, Toby was very appreciative of his new job. At first, Thomas was a little jealous of Toby, but as time passed, they became good friends. And this marks the end of the episode. Alright you guys, so those were all the goofs that I found in Thomas Breaks the Rules. This episode has always been one of my favorites, and I never realized there were that many goofs in it. Now if you saw a goof that I didn't point out, as always, make sure to leave me a comment and let me know. Thanks so much for watching guys, have a great day.